Hello, and welcome back to Hourglass Season 2, Episode 8. You guys, I think I'm gonna spend this week finishing projects, kind of tidying up, cleaning up, because I have started several things. So let's just dive right in, back down in under the caves, and let me give you a refresher for what I was kind of thinking the first time around. We need to finish getting the farms done. The farms were supposed to be done in month one, and I've been slacking. So we have still a manual bamboo farm and not a great way to collect dripstone. These two are probably the two that I didn't need to have set up, but we have kind of a half farm over there, and I just feel so terrible that I've left this project go for so long. I know, a month and a half isn't really ideally that long, or like really isn't terribly that long, but I've had a new wave of inspiration, and I honestly think I was just overthinking it down here. The caves don't have a set theme yet, and all the farms that are in here right now are still early enough that we can come in and decorate them to all be a cohesive looking area after the fact, if I leave some kind of wiggle room around the farm mechanics itself. So I think what I'm going to be able to do is put in the operative parts, the collection, the flying machine, the actual, the actual farm, and then maybe as a future month even, is we can come back underground and do an underground city kind of thing, like a slums or something. So I feel this new wave of inspiration for some of these projects that have been sitting. So I think I'm going to start down here and then see what I'm inspired for next. But before I head off, I will come back and give an update on this project so I don't mucks up like I did with the skeleton drop and the end storage. So we will be right back to this one so you can see the changes that I make. And welcome back from that weird outro to the intro. I'm sorry, I was saying goodbye and then I realized, wait, we're gonna come right back because I want to give you guys an update when we get some progress made on the farms. And, well, without further ado, I'm gonna show you that we got a lot done. We pretty much are completed for the functionality and even some of the aesthetics for now. I had a lot of help from my server mates. I basically grinded out for an entire day, for an entire Sunday. I was underground, under this, in this cave system. And we had several of the members of the server join us. We had Husker was over here, Neomis Electra was over here, Math Girl, and Milo, just helping with building the farms. And so, like, putting in all the dripstone, all the pointy dripstone, helping with the aesthetics of the farm, wrapping them up with the glass enclosures, and also helping with some of the redstone. So what I would like to do is go through each one of the farms with you, because when I first picked these items out, all I really understood about them, because I'm not a super technical player, all I understood is that they grow vertically, so up and down, and they can be harvested with flying machines. So you send a flying machine across, it pops the entities, they fall on the ground, and you can collect them. But each of the farms is slightly different, is a little bit different mechanics and a little bit different setup. So let's start here with the dripstone farm. The first thing to point out is that it is twice as wide as these other farms over there. So when we start looking at these, you'll notice that they only are like 1/2, and that's because it takes 4 pointy dripstone to make a single dripstone block, and it doesn't grow especially fast. I have them all shut off now, but this did just run right before I was recording, so this is about maybe 20 minutes worth of growth since I've been on the server. And what I want to talk about is the growth mechanics here. A dripstone block up there has water above it, so we had to enclose the water first of all so that it wouldn't, fall over and like get rid of all our torches and stuff. So we have a completely enclosed water level up there. Then the pointy dripstone can grow off the top one or on the ground down here. So what we can do, we have to leave the top pointy dripstone attached so that it can grow, but we can take everything else off. So what we're able to do on the dripstone farm is to send both a top flyer that is 1 block beneath the growing crystals, I guess. I don't know what to call them. The starter seeds. And then we can send the bottom flyer straight against the ground. We don't need to leave any of the growing crystals or growing points on the ground because it's just a chance of if it grows off the top or grows off the bottom. So if you put a slime farm on the ground, or a slime flyer on the ground, you have to use blocks that are not going to stick to the slime, because that'll break your farm. The slime won't move. So we used crying obsidian. That is also a light source, so the inside of the farm is mob proof to help keep spawns down in the area. And also glazed terracottas. All of the glazed terracottas are non-movable by slime blocks. So we were able to make the most use of either of the growing spaces. We're going to be able to collect both the top and bottom. And what we have right now that is, there are 2 pieces of this that are subject to change. The flying machines are pretty much golden. They're set exactly the way I need them. When they take off from this side, there is a return unit. Oh my goodness, on that side. So they bounce back to this station. But what we have right now is, and there's an on-off switch on each one of them. We have a hopper clock here, an etho hopper clock that, oh, I don't have game sounds on. Let's fix that. Sorry, I keep doing that. I did that last time too. But basically what happens is when these items shift back and forth, the redstone block moves, it triggers the set of observers that is looking at that trapdoor right there. There's a trapdoor that flips or opens back up, and then these observers detect it. The top one launches the, how does that work? I can't remember. No. When the trapdoor moves, the top flying machine moves, and then these observers send a signal down here to this trapdoor, which moves the bottom slime flyer. And so I tried to make it so that there was a bit of a delay on the bottom one so that it would send everything into the hoppers from the top. But so far I haven't really noticed a problem with anything being left behind. So I might try and fix that and get a delay built in there somewhere, but it was pretty compact the way that it came out. So I liked that system. And as you can see, they have returned. And so what we have set up on both sides is a system for collection. We have a set of hoppers here and a set of hoppers very far over there. So the 2 things that I'm going to want to update and change a little bit is this hopper clock goes too fast. So I just set it, like I had put all the items in this one and sent it. And while I've been talking, it is now almost gonna send again. And we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3 on the bottom, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, roughly 9. So yeah, so basically maybe 10 to 15 of the pointy dripstones get grown each time before this activates again. So the etho hopper timer clock is not quite fast enough even when it's fully max loaded. Because it just doesn't allow for a lot of growth. And so I don't want to constantly be sending the flying machines out all the time when there's not a lot of growth, because it's not really efficient. This takes a lot of server resources for these items. Plus, if they're going and the server resets or something, there's a chance that they could break. And then the farm's not going to be functioning correctly. So I want to change the timer system, and what I want to do is set all of the farms together on one timer system, which of course, because of the aesthetic way that I lined up the, like I offset the stations, yeah, past Zelda, keep this in mind in the future. I'm sure it's going to be a fun trick and a half to connect each of these redstone units that's at the ends. But yeah, there, it came back and there was hardly anything grown. So I want to do a longer, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it back off before I forget. I want to do a longer timer, hook up all the farms to the same timer so that all of the farms have a manual on-off switch. And I also want to move all of the storage down beneath, somewhere down here, Probably not directly beneath us because there's an aquifer there, but what I'm thinking is using this area next to the iron farm underneath the stairs and like back around here as like bulk item storage stuff for all of the farms that are down here, so that eventually we have like a crafting area, bulk storage like shulker loaders, because there is no other little farms that are going to go down there, so we have lots of space. So those are a couple of the considerations for the dripstone farm, and kind of all of them with the timers. But then as we go around the next farm, and it's kind of hard to see, it's bamboo. Bamboo has light level growth, interesting points, and because of the way we have the design, or the lights laid out in there, you can see some of them stop growing here, but these ones that have jack-o'-lanterns in the top grow all the way up. Again, it's not going to be such a problem while they're on the etho hopper clocks, because they, like, it fires so often that nothing full grows. But it was just funny to me, that some of them grow higher. So I don't know if we're going to add extra lights in the top, or kind of what the decision for that one's going to be. But the consideration for the bamboo, sorry, I have no blocks. Hold on. Let me see. Did I leave any blocks over here? I cleaned up, and I probably shouldn't have, because now I need stuff to stand. There we go. I don't want to break the terracotta, because that is a nightmare and a half to put in correctly. But basically, the design on the floor here, we tried to keep similar to the stripes that we did over there for spawn proofing with the non-movable blocks. Well, in here, what we had originally was we were going to have the jack-o'-lanterns covered by carpet. So we had brown carpet, podzol, and then coarse dirt. But when we tried to send the flying machine going, it tried to pick up the carpet. It tried to snag the carpet blocks, because that's technically the jack-o'-lantern, and then the next block space up was the carpet. And so the flying machine was just getting stuck on the carpet. So we had to take the carpet out, and that's when we found out that the bamboo can be planted on red sandstone. So we changed our color scheme for this plot quite a bit, significantly. It was going to be like green or brown, and now it's very bright and orange. But I thought that was super cool that we were able to use the red sand to plant the bamboo, because I had never known that before. But the one thing you'll notice is that the dripstone grows from the top, so our top flyer was down, and this bottom flyer was able to just sweep the bottom and pick up all the items and put it in the hoppers. Well, we can't sweep the bottom, because then we don't have any bamboo left to grow. So you'll notice right now that there's bamboo sitting on the ground, and that is because the collection system has to be different. And I have it manually turned off at the moment. But basically there is going to be a hopper cart return here. And whoops, hold on. Ah, I heard the flying machine go. No, stop, please. See how fast it is? See how fast they are? So yeah, basically, and this is everything we have just from setting up the farm and testing and running a few cycles. But this is one of the projects that Electra tried to help with for configuring a delay on the rail cart, so that the flyer would send and then the rail cart would kick off to collect everything that fell on the ground. But something is going on here, and I don't know how to fix it, but basically I put this block here to stop the minecart, but what happens is this is a sticky piston, and it's pushing that iron block back and forth to power the rail, or to power this first cart here, and I'm not entirely sure what happens, but basically there's no block there to stop the cart when it comes back. So without a solid block here, it just fell onto that comparator down there. So I've got to visit with Electra about figuring out this system. But the next farm over is the is the warped farm, and this one I did have running, and it grows very slow. Oh, there, yeah. So this one is still running because it's actually, to my knowledge, it's fully functional. The minecart collection system for this unit is different. I found a couple different tutorials online, and I kind of combined them together to get this contraption. Now, because there's multiple tutorials and I modified it, I'm not going to link to a description, but basically if you search minecart hopper return or minecart hopper collection. Oh my gosh, YouTube has so many of them. So I don't know if this is going to be the final design even, because like I said, I want to send all of the collected items anyway into a different storage. So it might be, this is all very subject to change, but I wanted to share this point because I was pretty proud of this. If I ever want to manually shut this circuit off, because what happens, okay, sorry, let's talk about the circuit first. When the cart comes back, oh, perfect timing. If it has items in it, it stops until it's done unloading, and then it slowly takes off again. I couldn't find one. I'm sure they're out there. I'm very, very new to to redstone and timing this. I couldn't find one that locked there and then just like timed it with the one above. So what I managed to do was I put a sticky piston with a redstone with the dust and 2 observers, and this fixed my problem because when you put the redstone right here in this circuit, it forces that this piston out with the fence gate on it, and then it just holds it. So I have a manual on-off switch for the minecart collection, but if the top is running, then we can just let the minecart run too. But basically all of this is a learning experience. This is Zelda not quite knowing all of the redstone mechanisms, but I did get very comfortable building the flying farms, the return units, these etho hopper clocks, and then this is my first time really messing with rails, so not super sure about that. And then the final one is the weeping vines. They also grow from the top. They don't grow at all on the bottom, so they're similar to dripstone in that we can send the flyer 1 block below the growing ones, and then we can send one on the ground to pick up and send into the hoppers instead of running a minecart. So I don't know, again, what's the most efficient, what's the best, but to me it was easier to build 2 flying farms than to try and mess with the rails on a 3rd farm. I'm gonna be real with you. I did not want to try any more rail stuff. I was done with the rails. I was done. So I just built another flyer and the hopper collection system. So there is a few more things that I'd like to do to, really make everything connect and work properly. Connect up all the inputs, all the timers, to send the farms. I also want to connect up all the storages. I want to figure out the growing of the bamboo, if we want to put more lights in the top. That's the only one that has a light requirement. All the other ones just grow. And then I also kind of still want to clean up and terraform the area, but I don't know that I will do any more, because this is a lot of color, a lot of variation, so I don't know that I'm going to do any more aesthetic stuff until we decide kind of if the farms have a theme, or if it's just anything goes, and it's like the crazy, Cave of Wonders, with all the different contraptions and, doodads and who's what's it's. So until I find out if there's going to be any further design concepts down here, I'm not going to make any more changes. I'm just going to try to combine up the outputs, the storages, and the timing. So I think with that, this actually took quite a bit more work than I anticipated. So I know that was a lot of explanation. I'm so sorry. I was gonna try and cut when we finished each farm, but because I had so much help, the farms were going up at different stages, and I just finished the weeping one last night. So I wanted to get in and talk about them all because I really didn't realize that there was so much differences in them, or so many different redstone components. So the flyer, the return, the timing, the collection system, there is a lot to think about when you're making these kind of farms. So mad props to all the technical players out there that do this regularly. My brain hurts. So I think what I want to do is a couple small Zelda enjoyment, terraforming and decorating projects. So whenever I'm able to get done with next, I will bring you in to show you a either a time lapse or the finished product. So we'll be right back. And the next project to tackle this week is to clean up here at the stone quarry. Boann originally made this build, and I came in and modified the storage area to incorporate some redstone sorting systems, and have left it exposed. The redstone for the sorting slices was originally going to be tucked back in behind the hilltop, and when I cleared the area out to set the filters, I never came back in and covered up my hoppers. So what you see me doing is just trying to make the area look nice the way Bo had first built the storage area, using some of the mixed blocks on the ground to kind of signify what went into each one of the storage slices. The final thing that you will see very shortly is I make a rock slide coming down over top of all the hoppers to the left where the blackstone storage got added. I thought that would be possibly the most logical method to pull the hilltop out so far, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the time lapse. Welcome back from the time lapse. I do not, unfortunately, have enough time to do any more projects this week. This actually took me quite a bit more time than I anticipated it would. And before I sign off for the week, I just wanted to bring you back in because I wasn't sure how well the time lapse showed what I was talking about with the mixed stones on the ground. One of the ways that Bo made this original build is there was only like cobblestone and the granite, diorite, and andesite, and she had this really cool mix of all the blocks on the ground and then also up in the wall. You were able to see, I was able to leave some of the cobble that was originally here, but I did try to come in and honor her original intention. Because we had to cram a bunch of extra storage in here, and so when I did that, she had like 4 cells, kind of like what we ended up with in the end, but there's a lot more block variety at this storage unit than originally was here. So like we've got the polished versions, we've got all the different stone block variants, we've got gravel, clay, and the dripstone, which is the whole reason why I brought part of the dripstone cave out, is because we're also storing the dripstone, and then this whole section of blackstone here. Now again, with all the redstone sorting, I can't ever hide it exactly 100%, you can still see it, but it doesn't look as terrible from out here now. We don't have that straight line of hoppers that's hiding, or that's showing, it's all hidden now. And I got the path in to connect to the path that Vault brought in and the original like crank, the mine where everything was in theory coming up from. So I wanted to leave off here and just say a big huge thank you again for all the support. It really does mean a lot to me, truly, to have all the nice words and positive feedback, and just to hear that people are enjoying the server and the series. We'll catch you later. Bye!